This podcast is produced by OnPod, a video content studio near you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are here with Gregory Kornblum. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, you are the owner and operator of Vericube. What products do you develop and sell in your previous company, and how do they compare with what you offer through Vericube today?
Well, I used to develop what is called servo drives, which is a sort of device that moves electric motors in various applications like robots, industrial machines, and so on. We used to think that an electric motor is kind of a simple device, right? You apply electricity, it moves. But when you're looking for performance, meaning things moving fast, moving accurately, then you need a little bit more than just electricity. This is what we have developed, the electronics and the software that operates electric motors, servo drives.
Okay, so are you finding that now with AI, machine learning, and having kind of AI control a lot of processes, you're having to integrate that into your product formation, or?
Well, yes, it is happening slowly. AI is something that applies in what is called predictive maintenance in the machines. So systems that kind of move the motor, detect anomalies, like if you want to move it in certain way, but you get something else, a vibration, some slowness, maybe friction. An AI system might detect it and alert and prevent a big production line from stopping.
Okay, sounds good. So is that something that you're actively integrating, or are you focusing on other things?
I mostly hear about it and waiting for an opportunity to do something like that, but not yet.
When you immigrated to Canada, what was the original business plan, and how did COVID-19 force you to pivot almost immediately?
Yeah, so when I moved to Canada, the plan was to market and sell the devices that we have developed. So basically, the position of a big shot manager in the company kind of put me into an advantage as a salesman, right? So there's a device that I know I can come to a customer and show everything much better than any salesman ever. And this was the pitch to the former employer that, look, there's a big country in the North America, 40 million people, industrialized, huge GDP. Let me sell your product, right? So this was the plan. And it was November 2019. So as we landed, me and my family, within just a couple of months, there was this rumor about some strange sickness coming from the east. And pretty quickly things shut down. We had the lockdown, and it became impossible to meet new people. Became impossible to do demo. Come to a customer and to even develop a new relationship was next to impossible. So I don't know. Maybe there was a solution, but I didn't find it, and so I had to pivot.
For sure. What challenges did you face selling and building relationships in that sense in a new market, especially with those lockdowns present?
Yeah, so lockdowns are a challenge, right? But not the only one. And the other challenge is that it's damn hard to be a new guy on the block, right? So people are much more conservative than I expected. They are looking to work with big established businesses. And honestly, the whole plan just fell apart.
Okay, fair enough. So one, you came with this big idea, your family. How did you get to that next step though? How did you start building yourself up and going into the new direction with all of these challenges you faced?
Yeah, well, so first of all, it was always clear that, like Mike Tyson said that everybody has a plan until he gets punched in the face, right? So I got punched and the plan got changed. And so I just got back to my comfort zone, which is development of products. Not exactly the same kind of products, but still at that time, 15 years in the industry, there was some things I could offer. I could leverage my former connections. So there were several customers almost immediately. And this is it. The company just kept going in this direction for a few years.
Okay, so yeah, you definitely had to switch, pivot, find a new thing to sell and build up your network or use your previous network that you have. What key signs or data told you it was time to change direction from the electronics that you were originally going to sell to developing and focusing on automation and machine building?
So, there's this sales funnel, meaning people we meet, and then some of them agree to talk to me, and some of these agree to the second meeting, and eventually some become customers.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the problem in the very top side of the funnel. The number of people who were interested in what we were doing, which is the product development, was very small. So it was kind of enough to keep going, but not enough to grow. Whatever the problem was, right? So it's not necessarily the problem in the customers, but the bottom line is that the fit between this kind of business, meaning the capabilities and the size and everything, and the market here, well, the fit was not very, very good. So that it was clear that we need to make another change, and this is what we're doing right now.
For sure, nice. It really is a numbers game. Like you have to reach out to so many people just to get someone to see your perspective sometimes. How did your past industry knowledge or the feedback from your initial projects shape your decision to pursue opportunities in reshoring and local manufacturing?
Okay, so first of all, the direction we're taking right now is automation and machine building. So the question was, okay, so we cannot keep going with product development alone. What else can we do? What is my knowledge? What people can I bring on board to do that? And obviously the people I know are somehow related to the industrial market of the servo drives, like the things that I was developing before. And on the other hand, there is all the thing going on, right? The trade war, the global politics, things are changing. Since the COVID-19, we can see supply chains, disruption maybe. So manufacturing is coming back to North America, right? And this is an opportunity, right? Because on one hand, we know how to build machine and automate certain processes. On the other hand, there is probably a growing demand in manufacturing and automation, right? And we all know that people here in Canada and USA, they don't exactly work in conditions that are found in the East, which means even more machines are needed. So this is the opportunity we're going to kind of try to take it.
For sure. Canada's trying to build up Canadian businesses right now. And with everything going on, like the trade wars and whatnot, Canadians do want to support Canadian businesses. I'm sure business owners themselves do want to, I guess, shop local and give back to their own economy. So that's a really good pivot and, kind of answer to that question, really.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you describe the types of projects or problems you now solve for Canadian and US companies, especially in automation and your custom systems that you build?
Yeah. So we don't have yet any project in automation. This whole thing is happening since last month. In a couple of months, we're going to a trade show to try and sell this service. So I'm going to talk probably about some machines that we have made in the past, right? And one example is an automated screw feeder for a robotic screwdriver. I don't know, it doesn't sound very glorious, but the thing is that the manual labor that is done a lot on some devices, like a laptop or whatever, is screwing the screws, right? So there are robots that pick the screws, put them in, and then with controlled rotation, torque, and everything, screw them down. And this is a machine we once made. So it's actually pretty big, right? The thing has to load the screws onto the screwdriver, move the screwdriver above the nut, and place it, and drill it, and do it fast. and do it accurately. I'm actually very proud of it.
Yeah, for sure. When you're working on something like a laptop, that's a very expensive piece of equipment and you have to have everything so fine-tuned. It's almost like doing surgery, like with the losses that you can incur if you don't build it properly and test it properly.
And the biggest loss, when does it occur? It's not even that you break something. If you just stop, right? You have a production line and you cannot stop, because if you do, it stops all the way back to the warehouse, and all the products that were supposed to get out that same day are going to be late, right? So the big loss of revenue is when something breaks down and stops. And so everything has to be very precise, very accurate, and very reliable, very robust.
For sure. Is there a specific kind of company that you're going after for this? Maybe just to enlighten some of our Canadian viewers or people that do want to support Canada right now. Is there anything that has roots and manufacturing roots in Canada that you're going after?
Well, we're not going yet after any specific company, but I imagine that it will be hard to enter, to enter relationships with very big ones. However, every small medium business, like, a few hundred people and less, is definitely our potential customer. We can be much more, agile than any big automation company there is. There are many competitors, lots of respect to all of them. But again, we here have a small team of very experienced people who can act quickly and bring probably the best solution for the given business.
Right, because you customize a lot of the solutions, right?
Everything is customized.
Beautiful. What's the underlying business need that your services address, and why is this so crucial right now in North America? I know we just touched on it a little bit, but is there anything that you want to highlight?
Well, the main theme right now is reshoring. So all the production that comes back, and usually it cannot be done exactly the same way that it is done somewhere else. And it's both cultural differences, but also the labor market is different. And it just makes sense to automate more, right? So that, people should do the interesting work, not the dull screwdriver and whatever on the conveyor, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like what AI right now is doing a lot of creative work that humans should be doing. It's like, this is really what robots should be doing, is this stuff that's really hard ergonomically and just mind-numbing, like you said. So this is a beautiful solution to that. As a team of veteran engineers and business owners, how do you ensure that solutions are specifically tailored to the client's operational challenges rather than just following a standard corporate process?
So we are the small business owners, right? Me and my partner, and as such, whatever we do, we kind of always have this P&L table in front of our eyes, right? You can see it, but I can, and same for the customer. And whatever has to happen, we know what is going to be the effect on what they do, right? In the end, business is, it can have many different kind of nice goals and everything, but for a business to survive, it's profit and loss. And this is what we really understand well. And not only the robotics and product design and everything, this is very important, but we also care about their success on the P&L, right? And this is why when a customer talks to us, and I can tell you from the experience of the product design that decisions have to be taken quickly. Decisions have to be prepared in a way that they're easy to take, right? So that we can present several options for anything, but we will always do it in a way that it does not take the customer 10 meetings to just understand what exactly are we offering, right? So it's all about being efficient in-house, but also with the customer, right?
For sure. And I think that goes to two parts. Like, one, how much this machine will cost up front, and two, how much this machine can potentially save you in operational time and manpower. And if this is going to, replace something that is stopping production and wasting that time and the hours that people are working to actually, come in and monitor it, right? So there's a lot that goes into it.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Okay, yeah, small businesses have it pretty tough. Like, there's no economies of scale there. It's all just very, or maybe there is.
There is a lot of economy of scale,
Okay.
but it's still economy.
Yeah,
You still have to be economical.
for sure. How do you coordinate product development and customer support across your international team?
Yeah, so well, we mentioned it before, right? Outside the interview, we have several engineers outside of Canada, and I would highlight two things. First is when you hire someone abroad. Well, at least when I hire someone abroad, it is always an experienced person, someone with proved track record, and the reason is we cannot kind of bring up a genius abroad, right? So we need to have a good experienced team from the get-go, and so that's one. And the number two is awareness. As a manager, I have to be absolutely aware about what these people can and cannot do. And so just one example is time zones is a menace, right? So if we need to schedule integration, there are many software people, right? So if we need to do integration with the customer in a different time zone, that's a challenge. So one of the funny aspects is that communication is almost exclusively written. So text messaging, emails. But if we need to have a meeting, like, I don't know, 5-10 people, and everybody has a different accent, me, of course, but they have their own. People just don't understand each other. So there are clearly limitations and there are advantages, right? So we talked about economical business. Sometimes this is the economical way to develop certain things.
Mm-hmm. How do you know people will rise up to the expectations that you have or the resumes that they're giving you? Like, how do you filter between that?
Well, the first several engineers were just just a very lucky hires.
Okay.
So we didn't know, and everybody that followed were their friends who they interviewed, and there's kind of a family kind of vibe, right? So everybody feels kind of committed to the other people. Mm-hmm. And so that we don't always know, but we can assume that things are going to be fine.
For sure. With a very small business, it's extremely hard to put your products in front of someone that you don't know at all. So I can understand the fact that you need references by your current employees. So it's nice that you were lucky in that first kind of thing. Is there anything that would make you filter out someone that someone does recommend that they're not right for the job, or... Do you get like a vibe, or is it just...
Sometimes you do get vibe, and sometimes you just don't know. Mm-hmm. So even when it's kind of a small family and everyone feels committed, sometimes you do get a person that is just not good enough. Mm-hmm. Or maybe is very good, but just does not fit whatever we do. Right? So it's not always someone that is incapable, just a bad fit. Mm-hmm. It happens, not a lot, but yeah, it's a possibility, like, in every business.
Yeah, it's a part of every business. So is there a certain amount of money, sorry to keep digging into this question.
Yeah, sure, that's good.
But is there a certain amount of money someone would have to lose for you to say, okay, that's enough of this? Or do you have key points to measure?
Well, what I'm gonna say now, maybe the customers should not hear, but the fellow business owners, they all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is for you guys, us guys.
Yeah, so mistakes happen, right? And sometimes very expensive mistakes. Mm-hmm. And it's just not right to punish a person by the revenue we might lose because of a mistake.
Okay.
It's the attitude, is the motivation to fix a problem, right? And eventually the learning curve, right? So if the person makes a mistake and then another one and then another one and still didn't learn the lesson, well, probably the person will have to go.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just a single event, if that doesn't matter if it happened after a year or after a few weeks, that costs us, I don't know, $10,000. That's life. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the risk we take as business owners.
Mm-hmm. It's about adaptability for sure. And I do think it is important for the clients to hear as well, because sometimes stuff happens and that's just life. What lessons would you share with other entrepreneurs who are forced to pivot due to changing market conditions like you had to during COVID?
Yeah. So, well, I started the businesses with not much of experience, right? So even though I used to be a partner in a small startup company, doing it on my own is a completely different thing. And the first and the biggest lesson that I learned is that if there is no demand, there's no business. And no matter how much I think about what I am offering, no matter how good is the product, if there is no demand, just need to do something else,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is the thing about pivoting, and it's something that I read a lot about and I heard a lot about, and I think I only started to appreciate after it happened to me that I had this beautiful product and nobody answered my cold calls.
Mm-hmm. You know what? We've heard about that 3 times on this podcast. Like you can have the best solution to a problem that you have, but if nobody else has it, then it doesn't matter how great you think it is. And it doesn't have anything to do with you either. It's just the fact of the matter. It's the way the world works. And you got to sometimes snap into it and say, hey, let's do this in a way that everyone else can benefit.
Yes, and so just don't be stuck. If there is if the market is not there, look where it is, right? So pivot, look for something else. And maybe another thing, well, not at all costs, right? So there can be a point when you say, okay, I'm done, I'm leaving,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. It's not a failure.
Yeah. Don't take it personally. We've all been there probably. If you're starting a business, you've probably been there at some point, unless you're super lucky. So
Yeah.
how do you see the future of North American manufacturing and reshoring, and what role will small, innovative firms like yours play?
Okay, so first of all, it is very clear to me that there will be a lot of manufacturing, both in the United States and in Canada and probably everywhere else, simply because whatever we do should be done local, right? And there are many reasons for it. One is the sustainability thing, right? So if you do it locally, you don't need to waste all the fuel to ship the things and so on. The other one is that everybody wants something different, right? Customization, small batches. We saw it in digital printing, right? So we used to get same newspaper everywhere until we started to get customized business cards, right? So everybody gets something else, and that means you need to produce it locally. It doesn't make sense to build, well, for some things, not for everything, but for some things it doesn't make sense to build huge production lines. It makes more sense to build smaller locally and to produce stuff, well, close to your home. And that also means that there will always be space for small players like we are, although we hope to grow. But yeah, the space will always be there because every business is unique, every business owner is unique, every situation is unique. And that means that they all need unique solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Means everybody needs this custom machine, right? And this is what we do.
And reshoring is becoming far more popular now with everything going on. So I think it's going to be a lot more attention in the coming years. And who knows, maybe you'll have to give some other people some guidance as to how to do this properly and kind of keep things going forward.
Yeah.
Nice. So last thing for the podcast, is there anyone that has changed your life direction or perspective? Anyone in particular?
Oh, many people. Really a lot of them. And even if we talk about professional, encounters, lots of them. So I'll give you one example. my first job after the institute, when I just, a fresh engineer looking for the first job and doing interviews, and I was hired in a startup company. And probably the founder shaped my whole perspective on technical things, definitely, but also on some business approaches. And he eventually became my business partner in the previous company. The original Verycube, 10 years ago, he was my business partner. Zev, thank you so much.
Amazing. Okay, well, thank you so much for your insight and giving us some insight into the machine and operational side of things. I think we're hearing a lot about AI and technology, but it's important to remember that there is so much more physical things that need to be done and innovated at the same time. So thank you, Gregory.
Thank you very much.